it's so refreshing hearing you talking about a break, because I tried to take quite a few positives from the pandemic, and I think one of them is mental health, that we're all quite comfortable talking about that now. And actually, sorry, I'll scratch that, because I think we've been comfortable talking about it, but people now do something about it. And I think that break thing, you're so right. I mean, imagine a recruiter in the events industry. When we were in lockdown, I had no business. I had a year of nothing. And then the last 2 years, I've absolutely, been flat out to try to get back to where I was, which I'm going into next year, finally ahead of where I was, But you're right. You sit there and go, like I look after my son every Monday and have done for like 4 or 5 years. The older ones moved on now and the younger ones there. And I still feel guilty about that, But I remember during the pandemic, I had some real, won't go into them now, but some real dark times, thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? There was nothing. And you're right, that sort of community. But I was at a fast forward event recently, Faye Sharp's Fast Forward 15, the female mentoring.
Yeah.
And all these wonderful women are talking about, and I've done this and I've done that. And I'm sat there sort of thinking, shit, I've done nothing in my life. I'm 46. But we're just pushed, aren't we, as event people? We're pushed to like constantly keep going. Because if you stop, you think you're not working, don't you? So it's great hearing you talking about that. I mean, how do you think, like, what would your advice be for people? Because we've always, especially UK, we've always heralded the industry as like, work hard, play hard, 70 hours a week is standard. And, but then you can go and get pissed and it's all great, which thankfully is changing or has changed. What advice can you give people? What would you say to people about the industry? How would you get the next lot of talent in? Because we do hear about how hard we work a lot. So what would your advice be for maybe employers as well, actually, Julius, to be honest?
Yeah. As I said, I mean, we need to make this job. I was following Martin Fuller, right?
Oh, yeah, Marty.
Evolution of like the campaigning that is doing to get the government in the UK to recognize the profession. I can't remember the specifics, but like I welcome that type of campaigning, right?
Yeah.
I think we have to move away from I love the solidarity aspect of community, but like we need to get into the business aspect of community. I learned that a lot here in the US, where lobbying is normal, and like things like that like happen for a reason. Like things happen at a business level because people want them to happen. They don't just happen because it's America and it's like living the dream. Like people make that happen. Yeah. Sometimes what I was frustrated a lot. I spent 8 years in the UK as a events industry in the UK, and like all this whole concept of everything is free and everything is the events industry. I mean, nothing is paid for, and we don't pay speakers. Like it has a ripple effect on the size of what the industry in the UK could be if there was, with the level. Because this is something that I think about all the time. Like the UK is the top of the events industry. It's not like if you think like in Forma and UBM and like all these incredible companies that started in the UK. The biggest event in the event industry, IMAX, is the UK. Reed is in the UK. Like, you know what I mean? Like RX, all these companies. Like when you think about large events, like I was just thinking about the Queen Jubilee and funeral, like the way it's planned, this incredible display of professionalism from the Brits. And I feel that so underselling the events industry in the UK, that's a problem as well. Like we need to move out from the schemes of, that speaker, that person, whatever, free. And then there's like the usual 5-6 people that turn up at every event. Like let's hug each other and let's keep doing this low level of business. I think we need to elevate the level of business to something where people are making money with it. They have been extremely successful with it, becoming millionaires with it. Absolutely, why not? Otherwise, like, what are we doing here? Like, what is the plan of this? Is it just about self sort of harm? What is it for a job that I could get anywhere else and be paid twice as much and do half the work? Because like, I feel that the talent, I'm deeply respectful for the talent pool that we have, from the professionalism that these people have, like responsibility of lives. This is not easy stuff. to do. So I'm very respectful of that. I wish we could do more as an industry to advocate more for events. This conception that you still feel in some companies that, you see these people that go and plan events, without any background. Like, you see the CMOs, the CEOs say, "Oh, let's do an event there." What? Why are you even like interjecting in this? Like, we have to set up boundaries as well within the company. I saw an event company making, like, kudoing a marketing team that operated out of a CEO that decided we do an event, and they were celebrating this marketing team that rallied and made it happen. I was like, no, this is nothing to celebrate. This is like the exact reason why event planners suffer, from imposter syndrome and all these crazy stuff that is happening. It's exactly this reason, because there's a decision at the top that we need to do an event and go and execute it. No. So if you, as a company, you care about growing your recruitment team, you're corporate, you're an event planning team, you're an event planning company, like, you have to detach these pyramids of decisions where there's a decision from the top and people have to execute, and elevate event professionals as strategists of connection. That's what we are. We connect people, and there's no other tool that can do it, regardless the medium, whether it's in person, online, hybrid. We connect people, and that doesn't happen online, unfortunately. It's very monodirectional. So we are very needed right now in this day and age.
The interesting bit, the bit that jumped out to me was the word respectful. And you're right. I think the UK doesn't get it. For those of you that don't know the UK, we have something called a SIC code, an SIC code. You probably, it's basically a code you put on your financial accounts to say you're in a certain area. So if you're an events industry, you have SIC code 123. It goes into the thing, so the government can pull a report and go, how many events companies and how much. We never had that. Hospitality had one, but events was like dumped side. It was just an event. And I think it was a great thing with the pandemic. In a way, it shone a light on, we're a 90 billion or 100 billion industry. That's without the travel bit in UK. But the respectful bit is event profs still see themselves as that service function. They still sort of put themselves as, I've been in events a long time. I'm a recruiter, and it's only been the last year when clients have said to me, will you bring your rates down? And it's only been the last year I've said, like, why would I bring my rates down? Oh, well, we have to bring ours down. Like, but why are you bringing your? And you end up, like you say, with this: respect what you do, respect your trade, respect your craft, your professionalism, and don't be afraid to say it, because, like you said there, like, it will be hard next year. I do believe it's going to be a bit more positive, especially with remote workforces needing more internal comms, leading into a lot more of that sort of integrated comms work. But you're absolutely right. I find it incredible that people don't sit there and go, I'm really good at what I do, and you should pay me for that. And you talked about, don't get me started on speakers as well.
Well, I feel we need to get organized as well and start saying no, right? Because if I say no and then the next one says yes, we still have a problem. I've had this problem here in the US as well, where there's been this speaker competitor of mine. They see themselves as that. Who was a salesperson for a large hotel company, and obviously, no fee, right? If they're reasonably good, nobody is going to pay me when you get someone that is okay, but obviously they have interest in being there to sell something. I don't have anything to sell. Whenever you call me, that's why, when people ask me to speak, I'm like, either you pay me or I'm gonna lose. Usually these people that you have here on your audience, not you, but these events, they know me, or I know how to reach them. I don't need to come to your event to reach them. So if you believe in the content that I put, you have to pay for it. And other people have to start to say no. Other event planners have to start to say no to jobs that underpay and they have to call people out. I think they have to start saying it out loud. Like, this company has done this to me. We don't say that as a professional. We're always like, always embracing, always hospitable, amicable, and then the stress goes on us eventually.
Yeah.
I feel so. Yeah, we need to let it go.
I'm just glad that I pulled on our relationship from years ago to get you for free today.
You're my last one for the year. I'm not accepting any.
Good.
I promised you, and we're friends, and I wanted to do it, but like I've had a number of requests for podcasts. People are going to see me now on this and say, "What? What? Then what happened?" I'm saying it. I'm sorry. I need to focus on my business. I need to work on my content creation for the people that believe in me. That's my primary concern. I also asked the GPT OpenAI chat to write to me a polite answer to turn down speaking engagements, free speaking engagements. So, that's what I have to do, because then I'm discounting my content and the people that pay for my content if I'm spending the time for something else. So I have to make that equation. So either there's, personal satisfaction in me for doing that, which is this case, obviously. But in some other cases, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not just going to be part of your marketing, whatever, campaign and have my name on it because high five, you can expose me to 20 people.